So for the purpose of demonstrating the camera and armature animation export, I've prepared a small scene where we have two cameras, an animation of our rig, and we want to export the cameras as well as the animation and then set up the same scene in Unreal. So first let's have a look at the cameras. They have some keyframes here. We change focal length and we have the depth of field activated, which focuses on these objects, which also have an animation track. So the focus always stays on the Mac. And for export, we want to have this depth of field information or focus distance information as well. So in order to do that, and also in order to maintain this camera shake, which is done by the awesome Camera Shakeify plugin, we have to bake camera information. Otherwise, the camera shake will not be exported, as these are basically constraints. And if we just would export the camera without any baking, this information gets lost. So for this, we have some bake tools here. And we can specify a custom bake range if we do not want to rely on the scene frame range. So maybe we just want to bake from here to here. We can activate this field and then do something like this. But for now, I will just use the scene frame range. And one thing I want to do first is bake the select the camera's depth of field, which is the focus distance. So I can select all my cameras, click on bake, and then if we switch to the camera, we see the focus distance is now baked as keyframes. And if you find these distances or values strange, trust me, these are the correct distances for export, because Unreal uses centimeters and Blender uses meters, so everything is fine. Next, let's bake the actual camera animation data. So again, with these cameras selected, bake selector cameras. And a new collection is created for these baked cameras. And then I can finally export these cameras, which again will be exported to this subfolder. And I will use a scene prefix, scene or one underscore. So I later know that this camera animation belongs to scene one if we have several scenes that can help to organize your exports. With this, now, again, for export, we have a possibility to use custom export frame range. Otherwise, it will just use the scene frame range. So I'm fine with that. Export selected cameras. And there we have our confirmation that these have been exported to FBX. So with the cameras baked, let's export our Mac animation here. So we are using a combination of NLA tracks and some keyframe animation. And basically, what you see is what you get as an export. And we are only exporting the armature animation data. So we don't have to select the entire Mac collection, just the armature. And it will also work with these library overrides, as you see here. Again, I will use the same setting as for the skeletal mesh export as root. So this has to be consistent. I will use the GLTF format again. And with the armature selected, just click on armature animation. And now we have our animation exported. You see the scene prefix was mentioned here, scene one underscore, and then it will use the armature name as the export file name. And if you don't want to use the object or armature file name, you can specify a different name here for your animation. that's mostly interesting if you have several rigs from the same base file in one scene. You can say, okay, this is my Catapult Mag 1 or Catapult Mag 2. So, and if this is left empty, it will just use the object file name.